The crowd in the central plaza of New Avalon was unusually dense that morning. Hovercrafts hummed overhead, their sleek metallic bodies reflecting the rising twin suns, while holographic advertisements flickered across the towering spires. I had been summoned there by the city council, an unusual occurrence for someone like me, a mere xenobiologist, not a politician, not a celebrity. My heart thumped with a mix of anticipation and dread as I stepped through the throngs of citizens, each wearing the official pastel uniforms of the city's civil service. I wasn't supposed to be the center of attention. Yet as I approached the council dais, I noticed something unsettling. The entire crowd's gaze wasn't on the speakers, wasn't on the council, but on me. Whispers rippled through the plaza like waves through a glassy sea, and the usual smell of ionized air and synthetic coffee seemed to thicken with tension. Then I saw her. Lyra, the alien ambassador from the Andari cluster. Her species had recently joined the Interstellar Coalition, and she had been assigned to New Avalon as part of the cultural exchange program. Lyra had the kind of presence that could quiet an entire planet if she wanted. Tall and luminescent, her skin shifted color with her emotions, blue when calm, violet when curious, and crimson when angry. Her large, multifaceted eyes, more like an array of gemstones than organs, locked onto mine. And then she spoke, her voice amplified by the plaza's neural mesh. "I am pregnant." The word struck me like an electromagnetic pulse. The crowd gasped in unison, a ripple of shock that seemed to freeze the hovering drones above. My brain struggled to process them. Pregnant? Lyra? And most importantly, why was everyone staring at me? Pregnant. I croaked, feeling my throat dry. Lyra, how? She smiled, the subtle bioluminescent glow of her cheeks deepening. You know why, she said simply. You are the one who made this possible. A hush fell over the plaza. I felt as if the suns themselves had dimmed, leaving me under an unbearable spotlight. Memories flooded back. The secretive laboratory in the outskirts of New Avalon, the experimental xenoreproduction project we had worked on together. It had been theoretical at first, examining the possibility of cross-species genetic compatibility, but over months, our research had gone further than protocol allowed. We had succeeded where others said it was impossible. You mean this is... I began, but Lyra raised a slender, iridescent hand. Yes. The child growing inside me carries both your DNA and mine. I stumbled backward, nearly tripping over a hoverbench. My mind raced, and my pulse felt audible in my ears. The crowd's eyes were still fixed on me, not with judgment, but with reverent awe. I realized then, in the Andari culture, hybrid offspring between humans and their species were considered the bridge of civilizations. The child was a symbol of unity, a living ambassador between worlds. And because of our project, I had become central to that symbol. Lyra moved closer, her voice lowering so only I could hear. The council will want a statement. But first, I need you to understand what this means for us and for you. I nodded numbly, my legs feeling like they were floating. I think I understand. But I didn't. Not yet. The council chamber was vast, lined with transparent walls overlooking the city. I had never seen it so crowded. The members of New Avalon's governing body, representatives from other interstellar colonies, and ambassadors from countless alien worlds were gathered. They all turned as Lyra entered, her presence commanding silence. I followed hesitantly, still trying to wrap my mind around my role in what was unfolding. Lyra gestured for me to stand beside her. This human, she began, her tone formal but proud, has contributed to the future of interstellar relations in a way that cannot be overstated. Our child will carry the genetic legacy of both our species, representing unity, cooperation, and hope. A murmur of awe spread through the chamber. I could feel eyes burning into me, each one heavy with expectation. I cleared my throat, trying to speak. I never imagined. You never imagined because you were focused on science, Lyra said softly, touching her glowing belly. But the Council and the galaxy see more than science. They see potential. They see what could be. The Council leader, a stern, six-limbed diplomat named Corval, stepped forward. This union is unprecedented. The implications for genetics, for diplomacy, for interstellar law are profound. We will support you both, but understand this. Your actions are now not just personal, they are historical. I swallowed hard. I had spent my life studying alien life, charting their genomes, cataloging their behaviors. I had never imagined I would be a part of one. Weeks passed in a blur. Lyra's pregnancy progressed at a pace that challenged human comprehension. Andari gestation cycles were compressed compared to ours, and hybridization accelerated certain developmental phases. I spent countless hours in the laboratory, monitoring biogenetic markers, ensuring that the child was healthy. But alongside the scientific vigilance was a strange, growing connection between us. I had always admired Lyra's intelligence and grace, but now, seeing her care for the life we had created, I felt something deeper, an unfamiliar warmth, a tether I couldn't ignore. The public reaction was complicated. Some humans were skeptical, wary of what this hybrid might mean for interstellar politics. Some alien species were openly hostile, fearing contamination of their bloodlines. But the Andari and New Avalon citizens were overwhelmingly supportive, seeing our child as a bridge, a promise of peace. I remember one evening, Lyra and I were alone in the observation deck, watching the twin suns set behind the city. She turned to me, her skin shimmering a gentle lavender. "Do you understand now why everyone is staring at you?" she asked. I nodded slowly. Yes. It's not just curiosity, it's reverence. They're seeing the future in me. Lyra smiled, and for the first time, I allowed myself to truly see her, not just as a subject of research or an alien ambassador, but as someone extraordinary, someone I cared for. The climax came unexpectedly. During a routine council session, the chamber's alarms blared. A security breach. Rogue extremists from a fringe colony had infiltrated the city, intending to kidnap Lyra and our unborn child. Chaos erupted. Drones scrambled, security personnel converged, and I found myself in the thick of it, heart hammering. Lyra moved with speed I had never imagined, her luminescent aura flaring like fire. I followed her instinctively, blocking a path for the intruders, using my knowledge of the laboratory's experimental defenses. The hybrid child's safety was paramount, and for the first time, I understood the weight of being a guardian, not just of science, but of life itself. By the time the Council's security forces subdued the attackers, I was panting, adrenaline surging. Lyra stood beside me, her glow fading to a calm, serene blue. She touched my arm. "You are brave," she said. I shook my head, still catching my breath. I had to be, for our child. The Council, witnessing everything via live feed, erupted in approval. My name became synonymous with courage and the defense of interstellar unity. But more importantly, I realized something fundamental. My life had irrevocably changed. Months later, the birth occurred in a controlled chamber, designed to accommodate the child's unique physiology. Lyra's skin pulsed with calming shades of green and gold as she labored. I stayed close, holding her hand, offering encouragement. And then, finally, it was over. The child emerged, a shimmering, iridescent being, smaller than a human infant, but exuding an undeniable presence. Its eyes mirrored Lyra's, but its faint blush hinted at my own features. The hybrid's first cry resonated through the chamber, vibrating in a way that transcended sound, touching the minds of everyone present. I held the child in my arms, awestruck. Lyra leaned close, her voice a gentle whisper. "This is why everyone was staring at you." Tears blurred my vision. It wasn't about fame or reverence or even scientific achievement. It was about life. The child in my arms represented hope, unity, and the boundless possibilities of connection between species, between worlds, between hearts. The crowd outside waited, their eyes wide as the chamber's doors opened. They saw the human holding the hybrid and the Andari mother beside me. And in that moment, I understood. The staring wasn't curiosity or fear, it was recognition. They were witnessing the future, and somehow, I was a part of it. Lyra rested her head against my shoulder, her glow softening into a gentle lavender. "We did this together," she said. "Yes," I whispered, my voice steady for the first time in weeks. "Together." And for the first time, surrounded by the hopes of countless civilizations, I realized that life's greatest mysteries weren't in the stars, or in the laboratories, or in the annals of science. They were in the connections we forged, the trust we shared, and the love that defied boundaries. The future was uncertain, as all futures are. But for the first time, I was ready to face it, not as a mere observer, not as a scientist, but as a father, a partner, and a part of something greater than myself. And that, I realized, was why everyone had been staring at me. The chamber fell silent as Lyra cradled our child, their tiny, iridescent body glowing softly between us. The council members, ambassadors, and citizens watched in awe, but I felt only a singular clarity. Everything had changed, and yet, somehow, everything was right. Lyra's eyes met mine, shimmering with emotion. "This child is more than just a symbol," she said. "It is proof that cooperation, trust, and courage can overcome fear. That life, no matter how alien, can unite us all." I nodded, my voice catching. I never imagined I'd be here, holding this, being part of this. Her hand brushed my cheek. "And yet you are. You are part of the future now." A ripple of energy pulsed from our child, a resonance that touched everyone in the chamber. Some felt warmth, others clarity, but all felt hope. And in that moment, I understood that the staring, the whispers, the awe, the attention, it wasn't about me. It was about the promise we had created together. Outside, the twin suns dipped below New Avalon's horizon, casting streaks of gold and violet across the sky. The city buzzed with life, unaware that a new era had begun, that a tiny being in my arms had already reshaped the galaxy's path. Lyra leaned against me, her glow softening to a serene blue. "Whatever comes next," she whispered, "we face it together. As a family." I wrapped my arms around her and our child, feeling a completeness I had never known. The weight of responsibility was heavy, yes, but it was balanced by something far greater: hope, love, and the knowledge that we were no longer alone in the universe. As the doors of the chamber opened to the world, the crowd outside erupted into cheers. I looked at their faces, wide with wonder and awe, and I finally understood. Everyone had been staring at me because they weren't just witnessing a human or an alien. They were witnessing the first step toward a future where boundaries didn't matter and life itself could unite worlds. I smiled, looking down at our child. "Welcome to the universe," I whispered. And for the first time, the future didn't feel uncertain. It felt infinite.